This is part 1 of your final assessment for Unit 1. Passage 1. Should third graders be given smartphones? Cell phones can be unhealthy for kids. According to research, overuse of smartphones can lead to various mental health concerns like anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. Kids are on their smartphones all the time, and the evidence proves that it can lead to health problems. Question number 1. Cell phones can be unhealthy for kids. This is an example of A, claim, B, evidence, or C, reasoning. Question 2. Kids are on their smartphones all the time, and the evidence proves that it can lead to health problems. This is an example of A, claim, B, evidence, or C, reasoning. Which sentence is the best example of evidence? Cell phones can be unhealthy for kids. According to research, overuse of smartphones can lead to various health concerns like anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. C, kids are on their smartphones all the time, and the evidence proves that it can lead to health problems. Or D, the author didn't provide evidence in this paragraph. Passage 2. How does drinking cola affect your health? Drinking cola is bad for your health. Cola contains 4-mel, which is a caramel coloring ingredient that has caused cancer in lab rats. Many things that are bad for rats are bad for other living things such as humans. Therefore, drinking cola is harmful to the health of humans. Number 4, cola contains 4-mel, which is a caramel coloring ingredient that has caused cancer in lab rats. This is an example of A, claim, B, evidence, or C, reasoning. Number 5, drinking cola is bad for your health is an example of A, claim, B, evidence, or C, reasoning. Which sentence is the best example of reasoning? A, many things that are bad for rats are bad for other living things such as humans. B, drinking cola is bad for your health. C, cola contains 4-mel, which is a caramel coloring ingredient that has caused cancer in lab rats. Or D, the author did not give reasoning in this paragraph. Passage 3. What happened to the puddle? The water in the puddle evaporated. Since the highest temperature was 90 degrees, we know that it was a warm day. When water gets hot, it can change from liquid to gas. This is called evaporation. I think the water became so warm that it became water vapor, and that's why the puddle was gone by the afternoon. Okay, I think the water became so warm that it became water vapor, and that's why the puddle was gone by the afternoon. Is an example of A, claim, B, evidence, or C, reasoning. Number 8, Since the highest temperature was 90 degrees, we know that it was a warm day. Is an example of A, claim, B, evidence, or C, reasoning. Which sentence is the best example of claim? The water in the puddle evaporated. So you go up here. I think the water became so warm that it became water vapor, and that's why the puddle was gone by the afternoon. Since the highest temperature was 90 degrees, we know that it was a warm day. D, the author did not write a claim in this paragraph. Number 10, in a scientific argument, the claim, what does a claim do? A, does it supports the question? B, proposes an answer to the question? Or C, provides an explanation of the evidence? All right, so that's the end of part 1. Okay, part 2, background information. A scientific argument begins with a question. It has a claim that proposes an answer to the question, has evidence that supports the claim, and clearly explains how the evidence supports the claim, and basically that's the reasoning. All right, so here's some background information. So we have a triangle-shaped landform on Earth at channels formed by water. When water flows down a steep slope onto a flat area, the water carries small pieces of rock called sediment. As the water reaches the flat area, it spreads out and deposits the sediment in a triangle-shaped area. Over time, the different pieces of sediment are pressed and cemented together to form solid rock. The triangle-shaped solid rock that forms over time is called an alluvial fan. So here's alluvial fan. So this alluvial fan was created by water. All right, so rock on Earth near channels formed by water. One type of rock found on Earth near channels formed by water is made of many small pieces of rock called sediment. As sediment is carried by the flowing water, it becomes rounded in shape. The rounded sediment is then deposited in a new location. Over time, the collected sediment becomes pressed and cemented together to form a solid rock called conglomerate. The type of rock in this image is made of many different sizes and kinds of sediment, which is why it doesn't look the same throughout. Okay, so here's some evidence cards. So evidence card A, this is how the shape of the flowing water. We saw the flowing water model here. Okay, evidence card E, the triangle-shaped landform on Mars. NASA scientists found a triangle-shaped landform at the bottom of the channel on Mars. Based on information gathered from satellites and the Curiosity rover, scientists believe the triangle-shaped landform is made of different type of rock than the rock around it. So here's a triangle-shaped landform. The rock inside of it is made of different type of rock than the rock around it. Okay, and the last evidence card. Image of rock near the triangle-shaped landform. A camera on the Curiosity rover took this image near the bottom of the triangle-shaped landform at the base of the channel on Mars. The instrument on Curiosity determined that the rock was made of pebbles and other sediment cemented together to form solid rock. Okay, so now part 2. Here we go with a question. Write a scientific argument using the CER format. Your paragraph must include a claim, evidence that supports your answer, and reasoning for the evidence that you chose. So, if you receive a score of a 0, your response is off topic or you didn't write anything at all, it's missing. If you receive a score of a 1, the student only provides the correct claim. So there's 2 claims, you have to choose the correct one. A score of 2 means the student includes the correct claim and they were able to write about the evidence that supports their answer. Number 3, the student includes the correct claim and evidence, but demonstrates partial understanding on how to apply reasoning. And score 4, the student includes the correct claim and evidence and demonstrates a solid understanding, meaning they were able to explain why the evidence was so important in supporting the answer to the question. And that's the reasoning. All right, question 11. So you're going to type this in Luminate. Question: what geologic process could have formed the channel on Mars? So you choose either claim 1, flowing water formed the channel on Mars, or claim 2, flowing lava formed the channel on Mars.